Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be going over the units that were added in the New Year's 2019 update. We have 5 characters to go over, so let's get started. First up is our newest Tempest Trials reward unit, Leggjarn. New Year Leggjarn is a Lance Cavalier with 157 BST. Her stats are what you would expect. She has decent attack paired with excellent speed and defense. Her res and HP are both on the low end, so watch out for dragons, healers, and mages. The combination of high speed and high defense is still underrated. On melee units, it's one of the best dueling stat lines you can have. Leggjarn is hard to one-round KO and will punish anyone with a very high damage bonfire. If you don't want to invest in Leggjarn for dueling, her base kit is great for cheerleading. Her weapon is the Wagasaw Plus, a generic lance with chill defense built in. Her B skill is chill res, and her C skill is defense tactic. New Year Leggjarn is a good free unit. She's a strong cheerleader, useful in AA, and can help in AR too. Sadly though, the sheer amount of competition makes heavy investment a tough sell. Our first banner unit is the other Muspel Princess, New Year Levitain. Levitain is a staff cavalier with 144 BST. Stat-wise, she's a lot like Maribel or Elise, just with defense and res swapped. Her attack stat is a monstrous 36 at neutral. Paired with 30 base speed, Levitain's offensive power is the real deal. Her weapon is the Kumade Plus. This staff causes a -5 penalty to attack and speed on the enemy unit with the highest defense at the start of your turn. That's really strong for a generic weapon. The main downside though is that the debuff is going to land on armors first, and most armors tend to have low speed anyway. Strong player phase attackers, units like Brave Lyn, won't be affected by Kumade at the start of a map. Her special is Earthfire Balm Plus. This is the third 300 SP healer special, and just like the other two, it's pretty good. Not much else to say, a team-wide buff to attack and defense is always welcome. Her B skill is Wrathful Staff, and her C skill is Even Defense Wave. Levitain is notable for her high defense. Of course, that's only relatively speaking. As a 144 BST unit, there isn't much that Levitain can do against strong physical attacks. At the very least, she has Wrathful Staff by default, so giving her Razzle Dazzle won't cost you much at all. Next we have New Year Fjorm. Fjorm is a green flying archer with 150 BST. Her stats are excellent. Fjorm is more than able to keep up with the best units in the archer category. Mobility, flying buffs, and access to skills like aerobatics and flyer formation give her a lot of potential as a physical damage dealer. That said, Fjorm's defense and res are both low, making her fragile. Use Fjorm on the player phase as much as you can. Her weapon is the Kabura Ya. This generic bow deals effective damage versus flying units, and has chill speed built in. I recommend using Fire Sweep or Shining Bow instead if you happen to have either. Her A skill is Attack Speed Bond. Her B skill is Attack Speed Link, and her C skill is Even Res Wave. The Res Wave doesn't do much, to be honest. Even if you don't want to use Fjorm though, her base kit is chock full of amazing fodder. Fjorm is a straightforward player phase unit. She's got the stats and the base kit to back that up. The only thing she needs is a different weapon and a damaging special. That's it. It's just a shame that her best weapon options are locked to other 5-star exclusives. Our last 2 units are both sword flyers, so let's begin with Freed. Freed is a sword flyer with 162 BST. His stats are, well, unique, but in a good way. He has a very unusual 38-19 offensive stat line, backed up by impressive 36-27 defenses. That's very interesting for a sword flyer, and I like it a lot. Freed is kind of like a red Baruka, except better. Although, to be honest, I think he's actually closer to Myrrh thanks to his mixed bulk and min-max stat line. That's high praise, by the way. Freed does not have a personal weapon. Instead, he has the Geishin Plus, a generic sword with chill attack built in. This isn't exactly on par with Great Flame or anything, but the weapon is quite good. His A skill is Attack Defense Bond, his B skill is QR, and his C skill is Hone Attack 4. Attack Defense Bond and QR don't really need any explanation. They match up with his stats well and serve a useful function. Hone Attack 4, on the other hand, is our first inheritable 300 SPC skill. While expensive, it's locked to a red seasonal unit. Hone Attack 4 increases the attack of adjacent allies by 7 instead of 4. Additionally, it will allow you to gain an extra score bin in some cases. 300 SPC skills are most useful on units without personal weapons, and on units who have both a personal weapon and a 300 SPB skill. If you don't care about score, then Hone Attack 4 is just a nice upgrade, and it's far from a must-have. Our last unit is New Year Gunthra. Gunthra is a sword flyer with 162 BST. Her stats are like New Year's Camilla's. With 34-37 offenses and solid mixed bulk for her speed, Gunthra is a unit with a lot of flexibility and playstyle diversity. In short, her stats are just good, well allocated for her BST without pigeonholing her into any particular role. Her personal weapon is the Hikami. This sword has 16 might and grants 3 speed. Additionally, at the beginning of your turn, enemy units within 4 spaces of Gunthra suffer a -4 penalty to attack, speed, defense, and res. This weapon is pretty powerful. It's like an Advance Wars CO zone. Your units, as long as they stay near Gunthra, will effectively have an advantage over the enemy. That's pretty cool. Her A skill is Swift Sparrow and her B skill is Desperation. Gunthra's C skill is Joint Hone Speed. Joint Hone Speed is our second 300 SPC skill. Like Hone Attack 4, it will impact scoring on many units, but it isn't something you desperately need. Unlike Hone Attack 4 though, which only raises the buff amount, Joint Hone Speed actually changes the effect, granting 5 speed to both the unit and adjacent allies. Overall, this banner is okay. It has a lot of exciting fodder, good units, and introduces fun twists on existing stat lines. However, New Year 2019 suffers from a critical problem. It's a 4-unit, 3% banner. Nowadays, with things like legendary heroes, mythic heroes, and 2-unit banners existing, summoning on a 4-unit 3% banner is not really worth the risk. You're going to get the same stuff as normal, just at a higher price tag, which seems like a bad deal to me. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. You can find me on Twitter at ThireThunderYT, so feel free to send me cool stuff or just drop by to say hello. As always, I hope to see you next time. Take care.